Welcome back to Bazaar Morning Call. Well, we're all set to see the listing of Anupam Rasayan, and you know what? This will be the first listing that will list at a discount to its IPO price. So some true value coming through here. Expected to list at about 520 on the NSE against the IPO price of 555. And we have seen a lot of concerns about this particular IPO, especially the cash flows have been on the negative side, and there's been some operational crunch as well. So let's see, we await the listing, expected to be at a discount. But let's now talk about the CV financiers, because once again there are lockdowns and restrictions across several cities and states in India because of rising coronavirus cases. Has that impacted business? We invite Umesh Revankar, who's the Managing Director of Shriram Transport Finance, on the show. Mr. Revankar, good morning. That's the first question. In the last couple of weeks, because of an increased restriction or lockdown across many cities, have you seen a restriction of goods being moved as well? And have you seen any kind of impact on demand or on financing?
Yeah, thank you. We have not really seen any kind of a restriction to the movement of the vehicles or trucks. In fact, there are some night curfews in certain locations. But these are all time bound. So the transportation, they normally observe the restriction and move accordingly. And we also have seen increased demand in the last 15 days. It's basically a pent-up demand because most of the supply chain which was broken in the past, they all got restored. And the demand for the movement of raw material and finished goods, both are extremely good. So there is a higher demand, and unexpectedly we are seeing a little higher demand in the CV, heavy vehicle also, which was not really expected immediately, but there are demand coming in certain geographies, which is extremely positive.
Okay. So overall, good morning, Mr. Revankar. Thank you for joining. Overall, this last 2 weeks has not shaved off any of the growth, the optimism that you saw in the first 2 months?
No, it has been extremely positive, and the increase in COVID, people are much prepared now. Even the governments are prepared. Everyone is taking precaution, but no restriction on any movement or even spending. I feel the consumer spending is as good as it was in the last quarter, or maybe even the marriage and functions, which was in the large scale that was happening in the month of December and January, it's still happening, maybe at a low key, but I don't really see any kind of a restriction there.
Okay, so can you tell us, between used vehicles and new vehicles, where are you seeing the maximum amount of demand in terms of financing, and what have the growth rates been like, say, in the last couple of months?
So demand for used vehicle is a regular one, continuous one, but what has really changed is the resale price. The resale prices of used vehicle have gone up steeply, especially in the LCVs. The prices are up to 30%. Year on year, if you look at, maybe because of the new vehicle price also have gone up by around 20% in LCV. But in heavy vehicle also, the resale prices have gone up by 20%, 15 to 20% across all heavy vehicle. That is something very positive, because this will ultimately lead to a higher demand for new vehicle.
Okay. You're just watching visuals of the Anupam Rasayan listing 10%, 8% lower. And that's a little shocking, because I think it was oversubscribed many times over, 48 times.
Yes, that's a function of the market which was at that point, and you know what, a lot of these
in a week so much water has flowed.
Exactly, but it's very volatile, Lata. It's recovered already, so now down about 3%. So could be interesting. Some of these IPOs clearly have come at exorbitant price, which is the, as we keep saying, the bull market function.
Okay. Well, Mr. Revankar, therefore, can you tell us a little more about your margins? You've got a rating upgrade, and a lot of people are also cutting lending rates, though it's more for home loans. How are your margins likely to perform in Q4 vis-a-vis Q3, or vis-a-vis your historical performance?
Margins are likely to improve, even though there is scope for reducing lending rate immediately for us. We may not be, we will not do it immediately, but we will see the liquidity situation, because normally a March end is the time every year you have some kind of liquidity challenges, but we are highly liquid. We have we are carrying more cash on our balance sheet in the last 3 quarters, and we'll continue to do it. But there is a scope for increasing the margins.
So you can go to 7. You can go to 7.
Yeah, we'll reach 7 definitely. Yes.
Sonia?
Okay. You do finance a lot of small truck owners who have less than, say, 4 or 5 trucks, and this category has a lot of underdeveloped banking habits as well. Do you see a risk to asset quality because of this segment? The small fleet owners that in any case have been quite stressed, and now with the rising COVID cases, there could be some more hit on asset quality because of this particular segment?
In fact, if you look at the way things have worked out post-lockdown in May, it is the small operators who gain maximum, because the large fleet operators who are dependent on driver and other laborers, they could not really operate immediately. The small operators who are owning and operating themselves, they could operate, and they were the main players for quite a very long time now. And they are gaining actually. In fact, the number of new vehicle purchases or used vehicle purchases done by individuals that have actually gone up, and large fleet operators are reducing their fleet. So it is it's not because the opportunity they got, it is because of their ability to be mobile and have the feet on the ground. So they were able to do well, and they are gaining market share, and they are doing better. Now the habit, everyone I should say, who are in the business, they are having at least one wallet payment app on their mobile, whether it is a GPay, whether it is a Paytm, something they have. Everyone knows how to transact, how to receive and how to transact. So to that extent, I think it is caught up. Digital payment has caught up with everyone. So almost all our customers are knowing how to do a digital transaction, and they will only gain as more tools are available to them, which is handy, and they need not really run from one office to another office, so they can transact while they are on the work. So that is a positive for them.
Oh, okay. No, I take your point, sir. I think one of the under-celebrated concepts in India has been FASTag. It is promoted, faster transport almost as much as the Golden Quadrilateral has done. Because, I mean, FASTag, not only you track vehicles, faster payment. I completely take your point that has become a tool of financial literacy, or rather digital literacy, for a lot of people on the road. A final question to you. Can you give us a loan growth number, and how is it likely to compare with your historical trend growth?
So this quarter, we are likely to grow more than the previous quarter, because I would like to give a Q-on-Q growth. And of course, year on year also, we will be growing more than the previous year. But this quarter has been quite good.
Right.
March demand has been pretty surprisingly positive for us. It has been very strong. So we will reach this year with a 6% EM growth. But the planning for next year is going to be very positive, because we were planning for double-digit growth, and it could be almost mid double-digit or high double-digit, looking at the demand.
That's so positive to hear. Thank you very much, Umesh Revankar, for joining us. So Umesh Revankar is talking about higher margins going up to 7%, which is, that has been their historical average before COVID. As well, looking at loan growth for FY22 at closer to 15%. I mean, that's the most positive statement one can hear. A quick look at the past financials. Actually, we have only the margins and the profit. We don't have loan growth bar charts, but really margins as well. They're going to come back to that 7% figure, which they missed in the last few quarters. And that's the profit after tax number. You'll also get the gross NPA numbers. Okay, that's expected to improve. But back to you, Anuj. Markets at this point in time still sulking, and sulking a little more now, especially banks and mid.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what, we have broken yesterday's low on the Nifty, which was 14,707. So that low is gone now.